They call him the King, a man who died for 7 minutes and came back for more. A man with no masks or no games, just pure ultra violence. From the days of backyard wrestling to the main events, Nick Gage doesn't just wrestle, he survives. I'm Keaton, and this is Indie Wrestling Uncut. Today we go behind the blood in the glass. We sit down with the leader of MDK Gang. This is Nick Gage Uncut. But before the global fame, before the MDK Gang, there were just two brothers trying to make a name for themselves. Today, Nick Gage takes us back to where it all began. The birth of HBW. And a man who started the journey by his side. His brother, Justice Payne.
Our backyard federation was called Hardcore Backyard Wrestling, HBW. First, I want to say rest in peace to Christopher Michael Wilson, aka Justice Payne, my brother. I miss him every day. My brother was kind of the promoter, man, the booker of that stuff, man. He put all that stuff together. And yeah, man, it was dope, bro. Like, we just loved wrestling, man. We loved everything about wrestling. We used to get together every Sunday and whenever the pay-per-views on, every Monday when Raw and Nitro came out, man. We just loved everything about it. So we started wrestling fed on. It was trampoline wrestling pretty much. Then when ECW came around, we made it a little bit more hardcore where we got barbed wire involved and the chairs. Yeah, man, like it was dope, bro. Like, we put on concession stands. We did T-shirts, man. We sold our tapes in the school. We sold tickets through our neighborhood, man. We promoted the shows. You know, it was dope, bro. You know, I think it was it started me into my journey of becoming a wrestler. Yeah, shout out to him. Rest in peace to my brother, man. He had a knack for it, man. If he would have fought through his demons and battled through his depression, man, I think he'd be a booker or a promoter right now.
Christopher Michael Wilson, known to the world as Justice Payne. To the fans, he was a 3-time GCW World Heavyweight Champion, a Hall of Famer, a man whose athleticism was well ahead of his time. But to Nick, he was more than just a member in the hate club. He was the one who shared the dream and shared the blood, and the one who understood the demons that come with this life. And that shared perspective brought them to a warehouse in New Jersey. While the rest of the wrestling world were looking for mainstream promotions, the brothers were looking for something that mirrored the hardness of their lives. They became the first two students to ever walk through the doors of Combat Zone Wrestling. They didn't just train to be wrestlers, they were defining a style that would change the landscape of the independent scene forever. They found a home, GCW.
GCW was it was a wrestling school first. Like I said, we had our backyard tapes and we flowed them through the school. And there was a kid named Ace Robinson. If Ace Robinson's listening to this, shout out to Ace Robinson. He got the tape to John Zandig's hands, and he seen us doing our thing, and he invited us down to the wrestling school he had. It was called the Combat Zone Wrestling School. And we went down there, and I missed the first day of training. He wanted to see how we were. And I had a baseball game, man. And after my baseball game, I was flying over there in my car, but I couldn't find the building. And I remember that night, man, my brother was so mad, man. We fist fought over missing the wrestling practice. But the next day I went down there, man, and crushed it. And he liked what we did, man. And he invited us to the school. And, you know, I was raised by a single mom, and she busted her butt. So we didn't have too much money. So he was willing to, like, let us kind of pay as we go. And it was pretty dope, man. And he seen our talents, and he started Combat Zone Wrestling through me and my brother, Rick Blade, TCK, and a couple other guys he knew through, I guess, independent wrestling when he was starting.
But building a legacy in the Combat Zone wasn't free. It came with a physical cost that would have retired most men before they even hit 30. Nick didn't just wrestle matches, he survived wars. From the glass to the light tubes, to the infamous night in Delaware. To be the king of the deathmatch, you have to be able to handle pain.
Man, I don't know what's up with my body, man, but my body just, it adapts to pain and it tolerates pain so well, man. Like, I'm 45 years old, man. I feel great, man. I work out every day, man. I go hard, and sometimes I'm dumbfounded why my body is so in good shape right now. Yeah, man, it's some of them showers after them death matches are tough, bro. And I just love pro wrestling, man. So I would just deal with the pain and move on and just say it's part of the gig, you know. But I would tell guys now, man, if you are going through pain or if you're going through an injury, man, go see somebody, go see a doctor, go see a sports medicine, any type of sports doctor, and rehab it, because the only way it's going to get better is if you take care of it. Because that's going to be longevity. If you take care of your body, eat right, train right, you stay focused, determined, dedicated, man. That's something I picked up later on in my life. So yeah, I just dealt with the pain, big dog, and I kept moving forward, man. I just felt like I was the baddest deathmatch wrestler out there, man. I wanted to be the best out there, and I feel like pain was part of it. I barely went to the hospital. You see me die, and then I wanted to tape it up. That was just crazy.
Once Nick Gage was inside the ring, the pain did not matter. What mattered was the gold. On March 27th, 1999, 18-year-old kid who built the warehouse became the man that led it. He became the first ever GCW World Heavyweight Champion. Back then, it was about the pride of the championship for Nick Gage, but as years turned into decades, and GCW would evolve into the global phenomenon that it is today, Nick realised that being a champion wasn't just about winning the belt. It was about carrying the entire culture of deathmatch wrestling on his shoulders.
At the time, I was probably 18 years old, man, and I was proud to have a belt on me. Anytime even at my age I'm now, man, anytime I get a strap on me, which I am a championship caliber wrestler. I feel like there should be a strap on me at all times, man. I take pride in that. I take pride in being a main event wrestler. Take pride in put asses in seats. And at the time, I thought I understood what it was to be a heavyweight champion of a company, but I truly understand it now. I was just proud, man. Like, proud to go out there and hold that belt high and wrap it around my waist. When I was at GCW and I had the heavyweight champ on there, now there was weight on my shoulders, man. I had to carry a company, put a company on my back and build it with my best friend. And now that was some weight, but I was ready for that weight, man. I was ready. I was like, bring it on, Keaton.
Nick was ready to carry the company, but he didn't just want to change GCW, he wanted to change the whole of ultra-violent wrestling. While everyone was stuck in time looking at old ECW, Nick saw something else. While everyone wanted to follow in the footsteps of wrestlers before them, he wanted to build something that would define the words ultra-violent. That vision became the Tournament of Death.
I wanted to be a deathmatch wrestler, and I just knew like we had to start a tournament. Like, there was always King of the Deathmatch, and I'm like, well, we need our own tournament. And I was the one that created Tournament of Death, and I just wanted our own tournament. I wanted to be a deathmatch wrestler, man. I wanted to do my own craft. I wanted to be my own fucking thing. You know what I mean? And that's when I changed. I said, you know what? I'm going to do this deathmatch shit. And the difference between ECW and CZW is, man, we started bringing some crazy violence, man. That's when the light tubes started coming, the weed whackers, man. We started bringing violence to a next level.
The Tournament of Death, the goal is to take the human body to its absolute limit. But in 2009, in the semi-finals of the Tournament of Death, Nick Gage went up against Thumbtack Jack. He didn't just go to the limit, he went over it. It was a freak accident. A piece of glass and a split-second movement turned the wrestling match into a fight for survival. For 7 minutes, the heart of the combat zone stopped beating. The man who built an empire on blood was now losing every bit of it.
I was facing Thumbtack Jack, Germany import. He came in my tournament in my backyard, and I didn't want to lose to him. So I was fired up. I hit the tube, and the way they put them tubes on the ropes, and they rubber band them, and it broke, but it stuck there. And it jabbed me under my armpit and sliced 2 arteries. And when I looked under my arm, that's when I seen buckets of blood, and I said, oh, I'm in trouble. And I went in the back, and I tried to have them tape it up so I can get back out there and beat this guy. But thank God they didn't do that. Yeah, man, I was in bad shape. I bled to death. It poked my main artery, but didn't puncture it. That's the reason why I'm alive today. Yeah, man, 30 staples, some tube draining blood. I wrestled 7 days later. See, I rest in peace to my beautiful wife. I call her Babe, Sanj. She was living in Florida at the time. My boy Loudy had to call her and tell him that I died, but I came back to life, and I'm okay. And her reaction was, she loves me to death, man. She started crying, and it's what a wife's reaction would be. What are you doing? I can't believe this, but she knows I love this stuff. She knows that this is what I do. and she's all about it.
In the world of the deathmatch, we talk a lot about survival. We talk about the glass and the scars, the moments where the heart stops beating. But the heaviest toll isn't always taken in the ring. For Nick, it was the one he faced outside of the ropes. The loss of his wife, Sandra. It's a chapter of his life that hasn't been fully told. She was his rock when he was away, and his light when things got dark. And that light didn't go away. It became the fuel for Nick's next chapter. With a new fire in his eyes, and a bond formed with a man who saw the same future that he did. The blueprint for a takeover was drawn. This was the beginning of GCW.
GCW started, I wanted to give back to my fans, man, who wrote me while I was in prison, and I wanted to do a deathmatch tournament. So we did it under GCW before it became ours. Maybe we did it on a JCW or something like that, and it was a success. The Nick Gage Invitational won, even though I wasn't there. It was a success. And then when I was in prison, man, my boy Lauderdale just hit the game running, man. That guy's a beast. And he just started doing GCW, Game Changer Wrestling. He used to come up to prison all the time and visit me every weekend and be like, look what we're doing. It was always not what I'm doing. It's like, look what we're doing. Look what I got going on for us. And I was like, yeah, this is it.
They say you don't know what you have until it's gone. For Nick, over 4 years in prison wasn't just a sentence, it was a rebirth. Inside those walls, he was questioning everything he knew about himself. He was ready to rebuild everything from the ground up.
I mean, they take something away how much you really love it. He taught me to appreciate it. I had time to sit down and really focus on what wrestling is, understand who Nick Gage is as a character, understand how to brand my, man, I did everything in there and learn how to train my body, learn how to eat right, learn how to put spots together, learn how to do all that stuff. I just fell back in love with it, man, when they took it away. I hit the road running, man. You know, whatever, like, he's like, we got to get you out on the road. And I just went on the road, man. I was one of the realest guys left out there. And I just hit every promotion, man, and just try to put GCW and MDK and Nick Gage out there so everybody understand what it is. And it worked, man. And, you know, I just worked busting my ass, man. Wrestled, busted my ass, and just fell in love with the grind again.
By 2018, the grind was paying off. He was back, he was hungry, and was accepting every booking that came his way. But then a phone call came in that nobody expected. Hollywood star David Arquette was looking for a fight, and he wanted it to be a death match. The King was about to meet David Arquette.
David Arquette, I was in the midst of the grind, man. I was in love with the grind. I was out there wrestling 4 times a week. And then my boy, shout out to Lauderdale, man, Brett Lauderdale, man, he would just pull me aside and say, listen, man, David Arquette wants to wrestle you, bro, in a death match. And I was like, what? Are you serious? I said, okay, man. And then we had stakes, man, and I talked to him about it and let him know, man, this is what I do, okay? I do deathmatch wrestling like you do acting. Are you sure you want to do this? And he said, yeah, man. And that's how it started, man. You know, that's how the match came about. They, you know, hit me up, asked me to do a death match. And I was just like, wow, I'm going to rob this dude, man. Like, this guy's crazy. And it was going good. And I said, you know what, Keaton, I'm going to have to turn this thing up a level. I'm going to let him know what it's all about to be the best in something. And I tore his ass up, man. He ran out of there like a kid, like a girl. Well, I first thought that I just killed David Arquette. That's what went through my mind. And then I seen him remove his hand, and it was just scratches. And I noticed this. I've been doing this for a long time. I know when there's a cut and there's a bad cut and everything like that. Seeing it was fine, man. I said, let's keep going on. But he chose to want to shoot on me, and that was just a bad idea because I drew to throw him, and if he didn't stay down, I was going to pummel his face in the ground and pound him.
But the Arquette match was just the catalyst. While the rest of the wrestling world was talking about the blood, Nick was just focused on the business. He wasn't just wrestling for a promotion anymore. He and Brett Lauderdale were building an empire.
It's the first independent promotion ever to travel like we do. We travel each and almost every weekend, city to city around the world. And it was all done by the mud up. What I mean is, man, there was no financial backer, man. It was just from the hunger, the grind, the passion for the business, man. And we built it from the ground up.
At Indie Wrestling Uncut, I always talk about the grind. Nick was in love with the grind of professional wrestling. There were moments when the lights dimmed and the noise stopped, and the world wondered if we had seen the last of the MDK era. But you can't kill a king that belongs to the people. You can't kill a man who laughed in the face of death for 7 minutes and came back to life. After all of it, it was time to return home. Home to the place he belongs, the scored circle.
I've already been wrestling a lot lately, but it's my return to GCW, and it's also in the ECW. I call it the ECW arena, but it's the 2300 arena. Man, it's just, being back with my family, being back with my best friend, man, and just doing what I love, man. It's just going to be a great night.
Nick Gage didn't return for the money or the fame. He came back because he lives and breathes professional wrestling. He is the bridge between the old guard and the new era. A man who gave his blood so the indies could have a heartbeat. Whether you love him or you fear him, you have to respect him. Because at the end of the day, there's only one king, and his reign is forever. This is Indie Wrestling Uncut.